You have clicked the Pixel Record podcast, programmed by KanOfSoda. Sit back, chillax, and enjoy the show.
Hello guys, KanOfSoda. Welcome back to another episode of the Pixel Record podcast. So, this is pretty special since this is the first episode of 2021. And what's also so funny is that this is actually the 21st episode. That's so crazy. I really did not think that I would record the 21st episode in the first day of I never thought that the first episode 2021 would be the 21st episode. I guess it's kind of weird that I haven't been really uploading podcasts as much during the whole pandemic. And it really fell in just in time for 2021, the 21st episode. So, I really hope that, anyway, Happy New Year guys. I really hope that 2021 will be way better than 2020. Well, considering that, first of all, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will be sworn to office in January 20, which will be really fun. I can't wait for that. I've had enough of Donald Trump, and I'm so glad for Biden to go into office and fix the insane mess that the virus has created, and also what Trump has created. Well, Trump has caused the mess of the virus to go out of control, but you get what I mean. The one big thing I'm excited for is Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm super excited for the Snyder Cut to finally come out. I mean, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but it's pretty embarrassing how Justice League, the fake version that came out in 2017, was the first DCEU movie I watched. And I was thoroughly disappointed because I feel like there would have been so much more to it. And at the time, I didn't know the Snyder Cut was a thing, and thankfully enough, I was right, which is super insane. For some reason, people think it's going to be the same movie. It's really not. I mean, Justice League, the fake version, is only 2 hours long. And Zack Snyder's Justice League is 4 hours long. And not to mention that Justice only had 10% of Snyder's footage. That tells you how completely different it is. Also, in the 2017 version, Cyborg's dad survives, but in the real version, his dad dies. Also, Cyborg has a whole lot bigger role. And I also feel like that other characters in the movie also had more bigger roles, like Flash, Aquaman. Yeah, definitely. I was really excited for Flash. I guess mostly because Ezra Miller was in it, and I already knew him from Fantastic Beasts, and I really like him so much. And I was kind of disappointed to see Flash not have a really big role. And, as I said before, Justice League in general. Also, I had enough of these toxic Snyder haters trying to gatekeep Snyder fans, acting like everything we do is bad. It's so weird because, when James Gunn got fired and when Spider-Man was removed from the MCU, people were campaigning for them to bring them back, and no one called them toxic. And not to mention that the people who were wanting Spider-Man back, they went super crazy as if it was the end of the world. I thought that they were just overreacting. I was upset that Spider-Man got removed from the MCU too at the time, but the way people reacted was so ridiculous. It's so weird. And also, when Daredevil got cancelled, people wanted it to be restored and brought back, But when people campaigned for Zack Snyder's Justice League, people call it bullying, hate, and harassment. I'm like, what? I mean, to be honest though, it's DC, so I can't say I'm surprised. Those MCU fanboys just hate DC for no reason. I mean, honestly, I've always liked Batman vs Superman way better than Civil War and the entire MCU. I don't hate the MCU. I absolutely love it. I always liked the DCU better than the MCU. Even with less movies, I still enjoy it. Probably because the quality of the stories and all, while as the MCU, it all feels like 2 hour long episodes. I can't keep up with the MCU anymore. Just way too much content going out. I would prefer they just wait for Phase 4 to clear out and then announce all the others. It's also like you have to watch one just to understand what's going on in the next movie. It's wild. I guess I'm mostly gonna stick to the movies and just hear what goes on online like I did with Mandalorian. I've always wanted to watch The Mandalorian. Unfortunately, I don't have Disney Plus, so I honestly don't care if I hear any spoilers, like the spoilers of Ahsoka being in season 2 and Luke Skywalker appearing, which was actually super cool. And I know kind of recently-ish, maybe a few weeks ago in the DC fandom, one of those bloggers who like to hate on Snyder was like, Zack Snyder's Justice League won't be producing any sequels. It leads to nowhere, like a cul-de-sac. And people were like, no, we're not gonna listen to that. And it's really cool how people use the word cul-de-sac against the fans to make it to a positive thing. That's what I really like about the fandom. It's like, it's really crazy how we get way too much hate. Even though obviously there are lots of obviously there are toxic fans in every single fandom, even though for some reason the toxic people in DC fandom are the minority. But people use them to assume that every single part of the DC fandom is evil. And speaking of, I have a little something tea to spill that's been going on for like the past 2 days, which was super crazy. Okay, so Snyder, he has this sort of fan ally named Fiona Zhang. She's this Chinese girl who basically helped start the Snyder Cut movement. In a sort of recent tweet, Zack posted a picture of a new still from his Snyder Cut, and the caption said, "This is for you, Fiona." And someone digged up this tweet where she lashed out at this guy named Jamal. She basically fought at him, calling him dumb and called him a monkey, which, as you can tell, Jamal is a black guy, and calling a black guy a monkey is super racist. And for some reason, when that was digged up, it completely split the entire fandom into two. There are people that were against her, people who were defending her. The people who were defending her were saying that since she lives in China, the monkey racist thing is not a thing, since it's mostly a thing in America. But I mean, it's still really inexcusable. It's not an excuse. I'm not sure why people are defending her in this. And for some reason, someone else tried to defend her by showing us some sort of Hindu god, which is half man, half monkey, to try and say that it wasn't racist. I'm like, what? And honestly, I'm on the side of saying that she was racist and she should not have said that. Like, I know that it probably was not racist over in China, but it still is not acceptable. You're basically dehumanizing someone like that. And oh my gosh, the drama was so bad that when people were speaking out against her, they got blocked and unfollowed. It really shows who is who in the fandom. It was really crazy. And that there was like so much drama for like the past 2 days. I'm like, oh my gosh, 2021 has just started. People, we don't need to make it worse. And this was like January 1 and 2. It's January 3 at the time I'm recording this. And also when people called her out directly to her, she was blocking certain people. And there's also this Snyder Cut account who helped do it, who previously helped with the movement and is also toxic as well. I heard they broke their own rules when it comes to respect and all, yet they don't respect people. And they were also defending Fiona. And I know they were also respectfully welcoming Ben Shapiro to the fandom when he was supporting the Snyder Cut movement. And we all know who, if you don't know who Ben Shapiro is, then apparently he's this controversial right-wing guy. I don't know too much, that's all I know about him. And for some reason, people who were against her were calling out Zack for supporting someone like her. I mean, why would you blame Zack? It's technically Fiona's fault for saying that to Jamal. Zack has nothing to do with this. And besides, why would Zack be racist in the first place when he made Cyborg, a black man, the heart of his movie? And also, casted Jason Momoa, a person of color, as Aquaman. And people were trying to defend her. People were defending her because apparently she basically helped with this Snyder Cut movement. But that doesn't matter because it shouldn't allow her to get away with her behavior. I think it really shows they really forgot what accountability over entertainment means, which is pretty much Ray Fisher's main slogan in his fight against a big Warner Bros. People who took away Justice League in the first place. So what happened next? Well, she eventually did put out an apology, but it really wasn't a good apology. She was like, I have black friends, therefore it's okay. And I'm like, what? I honestly, personally don't like the apology. I really don't forgive her, and it's really not mine to forgive anyway. And apparently Jamal has said other problematic stuff in the past, but honestly, it was a huge mess for the past 2 days. I'm like, just too much drama on my timeline. I just wanna get off the internet for a while and just watch a movie or something. Because I mostly go on Twitter for most of the day, even though it's the most hellish place on the internet. It's crazy. I also like to point out that for some reason people were worshipping Fiona as if she was their goddess. It's so weird. I think I can try and find the tweets if you want. Okay, so I found one from the Toxic Snyder Cut account, and they were like, she is the best of us. There's no Snyder Cut without her. People are jealous as fuck, and it's transparent as it is hilarious. Laughing emojis, clown emoji. What? And then and then there's a screenshot of it, and the person posted the screenshot. Was like, this is scary as fuck. Treating someone as a goddess when she's only part of a fandom is truly scary. It's so weird. Oh, what? No. Just no. In that same Snyder Cut account also said, enjoy the movie these legends won for you. Remember their names every time you hit play. We're done this clown now. Who's next? And apparently this person quoted this girl named Alina. And apparently the toxic account is run by a guy named Vinaldo, and Alina screenshotted and said, hey Vinaldo, thanks for blocking me and quoting me. You didn't win anything by harassing people. It was people like you disappearing and better people leading the campaign that helped. You make sure to wipe your tears and remember their names whenever you hit play. Exactly. And also, I didn't even know who Fiona was until the DC fandom. Basically, she actually showed up in a panel in Zack Snyder's Justice League panel where she was talking about him since she helped start the Snyder Cut movement. I did not even know that she was a toxic person until the drama, like, just recently. It's really crazy. And also, really? The toxic Snyder Cut account is trying to refer to Fiona when they were talking about the legends? The only legends I know is Zack Snyder and people who have actually worked with him, you know, like Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa, everyone part of the cast and crew. Those are the legends. Anyway, that was a bunch of weird-ass drama, and I can't wait to leave it all behind when we watch Zack Snyder's Justice League in March 2021, and it's going to be great. There's this other crazy story I want to talk about. It's in the game, The Quarry of Mars Adventure. So I've talked about this on I've kind of talked about it on my channel, my YouTube channel, The Most Annoying Kid on Roblox, but I'm gonna briefly summarize it here. So basically, Quarry of Mars Adventure is this Roblox game where you can mine on Mars and you can find some really cool ores to sell for a ton of money. Even though it's not really much, it's really calming, it's really enjoyable, and I've made a good number of friends on there. So basically there's this guy, I think I called him Steve, this annoying kid named Steve. I think I called him that on my video, but I forget, I'm just gonna say his real name, Gold Spider. Yes, that's his real name, Gold Spider. So a little bit of backstory, explain my main channel, I'm gonna say here, Gold Spider, who's basically this kid this annoying kid who always steal ores from other people, especially new players, whenever advanced players would try to help them. He's really annoying as well. He tried to friend me. I did not accept his request. Plus, I was too socially awkward, and he was constantly begging me to accept his friend request, even though I never really did. And then later that day, one of the advanced players talked to him about it, basically sitting down as if he was a disciplined kid because he is, and told him to apologize and not do it again. Well, I'm going to update you guys on that, and it was a really whack day as well. So usually, since there's a 10-player max for each server, there's not really that much people. I can kind of see why, probably because it's not extremely popular. But this was one of those days where the server is more crowded than usual, and there's a lot of people talking and all that stuff. So I was on the Discord chat, voice chat with one of my Roblox buddies, Bloodlust, who, by the way, helped me get a lot of money and upgrade to better mining capabilities, along with a few other friends. Jam, which is, I'm guessing, around my age and is pretty advanced as well, and this kid named Darky, who's actually 8 years old. I was so surprised about that. He's a good friend of mine on Roblox, well, on the Quarry game. So, we were just casually mining as usual, just playing the game, and then Gold Spider goes on. Everyone in chat, well, the Discord chat goes like, oh no, not Gold Spider, because, and I'm like, whoa, everyone knows who he is. He's very infamous in the small Quarry community. So I'm like, whoa, I'm not the only one who knows about him. And then I told him about how he tried to friend request me and tried to beg me to accept his request. And I know one guy said that when he told Gold Spider he was a girl, he immediately tried to friend request him. I was like, damn, what a simp. I'm like, and even to me, it's pretty weird considering that the Gold Spider's probably around 12 years old or younger. So the very minute Gold Spider joined, Bloodlust told him that he was banned. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. By the way, Bloodlust is friends with a guy named Sky, who is the creator of the Quarry game. And right when he said you're banned, Gold Spider automatically left the game. And then another player joined. His username was something around, it's over 9,000 something. Which, yes, it's a very dead meme. And the people in the chat, the Discord chat, Bloodlust, people like him were saying, oh, this is definitely Gold Spider's alternate account. So I actually searched up the username on Roblox, the exact username, and what do you know? It was actually created on that very same day that we were playing the game. So I was like, okay, so I told him, and then, yeah. So then Bloodlust typed in the, Quarry Roblox chat, going like, okay, you are definitely Gold Spider on alternate account. He was like, no, I'm not. So then I decided to come up with a way to try maybe get him triggered by typing, oh my gosh, I hate that Gold Spider guy. He always tries to friend request me. It's just a sip. And it was pretty anticlimactic since he didn't really respond. He probably got outraged in real life though. So then I believe he left again and then went back on his real account, Gold Spider account. And that was really funny when Blood told him that he was banned. I guess he really believed this. He was like, oh, shoot. And then he left, quickly created an account, and then went back on, hoping they would not notice it was him. And I guess, I seriously wonder how they found out that it was a Gold Spider alternate account. Probably because the username is over 9,000. It's like a dead meme from like the 2000s. And he was probably a fetus. And Gold Spider was probably a fetus at the time. Oh my god, it's weird thinking about that nowadays. Those memes are so ancient. I feel so old knowing that I knew about those memes back in the day. So, since Gold Spider went back on his real account, I guess he was like messing, or we continued to like mess around. It's so funny to see him get super mad. It's just really funny. Also, I'm not sure if it was during that day or some other day around that time, but funny enough, I think either Blood or another guy named Hanbin Lee told us that apparently Gold Spider got offended because oh yeah, it was probably Bloodlust, because Bloodlust called him gay. I'm serious. That also shows you how young he is. What, only a middle schooler or an elementary schooler would get offended over something like that. Meanwhile, while Bloodlust was making him angry and calling him gay and stuff, well, the Gold Spider was like, I'm not gay. Stop insulting me. I was typing in chat. What's so wrong with being gay? And you know gay means happy, right? It's actually true. Gay originally mostly meant happy, but mainly turned to liking someone of your same gender. And I honestly don't remember what else happened after that, other than just messing around. I do remember at one point, he was quitting the game, quitting and going back and forth. It was, and thus people in the Discord call like, oh my gosh, he keeps leaving and coming back. And I was like, just watch him go back with the alternate account. I also know that at some other point, okay, so there's this block you can find, it's called a rock sand, and the only way you can find it is, okay, so they recently added this feature where if you're near the rock sand, they'll play some Roxanne song. It sounds like some kid rapping. It was like, Roxanne. It sounds like some kind of Minecraft song that some kid sang. And they added it in the game. So the more close you are to the Roxanne block, the louder the kid singing will be. And I do remember at one point, I believe Blood collected the Roxanne, quote unquote, from Gold Spider. And you know, being the usual guy he is, Gold Spider's like, give it back to me now. I demand you give it back. And then Bloodlust was like, no, I'm not giving it back. You steal from other people. Now you know how it feels, huh? And then Gold Spider was lying. No, I do not. Yes, you do. Yeah, that kid is wild. And I'm pretty sure I know he like left after that. He's probably crying on his Minecraft bed. He's just crazy, man. Yeah. So it seems like that he did not learn from when he was told off about it. And when he quote unquote apologized, aka just said, I'm sorry, like YouTubers usually do when apologizing. The person who talked to him about it was like, if you do this again, then I will have to tell the administrators and they will have to ban you. And when you know he did not learn, I'm not surprised. Hopefully he matures, but I don't know if that'll happen. Oh, and want to know another crazy part? So apparently, Darky and Gold Spider are best friends now. And I know because one time I joined for a brief moment, and I realized that, and Darky was like, me and Gold Spider are friends now, Twix. You better not bully him or insult him. I was like, I wasn't bullying him, but okay, I kind of quit a little bit after that. And yeah. I'm still mates with Darky though. He's a cool guy. I guess the next time we met, he just kind of forgot about that. So I was worried that he would ask me why I left. I guess I was prepared to lie to say that my internet disconnected. But oh well. But honestly, with this whole Gold Spider situation, I really don't care what he does. As long as he does not annoy me, then we're cool. If he annoys me like begging me for ores, then I will not hesitate. And I don't care what the hell Darky thinks. Kid is like, you're way younger than me, actually. And I'm what, 19? About to turn 20 this year? Oh, shoot, I feel so old. But yeah, besides the whole Gold Spider situation, it's really fun playing on Quarry Mars Adventure. You guys who play Roblox should go try it sometime. We're a pretty small but really nice community. And not toxic, actually, surprisingly. I mean, we are a small community, and we all know each other. We all friended each other. It's really calming and nice, you know. I really love that feeling. Alright, enough of that. Let's move on to something else. Ooh, Wonder Woman 1984. I'll do my review on it. It could have spoilers, but it's been out for like over a week now, so if you don't mind, then go ahead and watch it. We'll listen to it basically. But if you don't want to spoilers, then maybe skip ahead or maybe click off until you actually watch it. So anyway, Wonder Woman 1984, it was actually pretty good. Not like perfect, but it's good. I mean, not every movie in general is perfect, of course. But damn, it got mixed reviews. It's insane. But I mean, I can understand it. I mean, the most complaints about it felt pretty rushed, which is pretty understandable, and I agree with that. But even so, I actually really enjoyed it. Even the plot was kind of basic, like with the Dreamstone and all that. But I thought it was really awesome. Although I did find it weird that Cheetah was Cheetah for a short time. But if you noticed at the end that when everyone around the world started to renounce their wish from the insane mess that Max Lord has created, Cheetah is still alive. She just transformed back to her human form. So in Wonder Woman 3, I like to see her return as Cheetah again. And because 1984, like, I know Barbara will probably be a whole lot older by then, but maybe, I have a prediction that maybe for Wonder Woman 3, right after 84, the events of 84 for Cheetah, maybe she is visited by Cirque. I don't know how to pronounce it, but basically that's a villain of Wonder Woman in the comics. So basically, I think Circe will come to Cheetah and grant her her powers. I believe that's where her powers came from in the comics. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not too much of an expert on comics. I don't feel like researching it right now. And also, this really insane era of the 80s. All the clothing, the technology used, and the, like, just overall aesthetic in general, I feel like even though I wasn't alive in the 80s, it feels really perfect for a time period. And that mall seems pretty cool. Also, the White House fight scene, that was so intense. Especially since this is the first time Barbara starts lashing out at Diana. Oh, and for the Steve Trevor turn, I thought that was really interesting. I mean, a lot of people didn't like it, which I completely understand. Resurrecting dead characters kind of ruins it for them. But for me, I personally am okay. I guess it depends on how the character is used. Like, if they barely have enough screen time they deserve, like Vision and in this instance Steve's, and I mean, I don't mind if they get resurrected since Vision was, I mean, kind of dumped out. And he could return to WandaVision. I hope they bring Quicksilver back as well. I'm not okay with resurrecting characters who have had more than enough screen time. Their arc is super complete. You know, like Tony Stark and Palpatine, who was unfortunately resurrected and ruined to Rise of Skywalker and the sequel trilogy. Yeah. Also, remember that part where they go to Egypt and Max Lord is talking to the oil competitor, and I think he mentioned I don't want to like mispronounce this, the Balayan dynasty, which the oil guy mentions. And what's interesting is it's apparently an Easter egg to Black Adam, another movie which is gonna come up later on, and takes place in Egypt. Oh, I'm sorry to be Alia, my bad. It's probably that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know what else to say about Wonder Woman. Actually, the way they use Beautiful Lie, the theme they used in Batman vs Superman when Batman's parents were killed, I really liked it. The moment it went on screen in the theaters, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And I really love the cover of it in 84. It looked so beautiful. Get it? Anyway, I really enjoyed the film. I don't care what the negatives think. If you don't like it, that's cool. Just please don't attack others for it. Come on. It's just a movie. It's not a big deal. And I'm excited for the other DCU films that are gonna come out soon as well. besides Justice League and Suicide Squad, there's also Flash, Aquaman 2, Shazam, Fear of the Gods, and Black Adam. And hopefully the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, that needs to come out as well. And I heard that all of those movies will finally start filming this year, like early this year. And I'm like, finally? I mean, considering how screwed up we've been over this pandemic, like finally, considering that a lot of other productions have resumed filming after the long month void because of COVID. And this other thing I want to talk about, Star Wars. One of the most controversial things on the internet. Yeah, it's crazy, but I just want to talk about it just because. As I said before, I have not seen The Mandalorian, but I really want to. I just don't have Disney Plus. I'll probably watch it whenever I have the chance to. Also, there's other thing I want to rant about for a while. Okay, so you know how this sequel trilogy is like very controversial and people hate it. So you wanna know my opinion on it? I used to like the sequels when they were still coming out before Rise of Skywalker came out. I was really hoping that it would have a very good future and ending, but the way Rise of Skywalker turned out, it was disappointing. Well, at first, I was trying to enjoy Rise of Skywalker, but as time passed, I just don't enjoy it anymore. And I was actually kind of suspicious about it when watching the trailer before it came out, like the Death Star wreckage, because I was like, did the Death Star explode in Return of the Jedi? Why is there ruins on this planet? And I was also like, why is Palpatine here? He's supposed to be dead. I don't want him to come back. And I was actually super surprised to see everyone get all excited about him, considering how toxic the fandom is. I saw one meme was like, haters, God, I hate Last Jedi so much, it's so bad. It's never gonna get any better. Rise of Skywalker, Palpatine comes back. And soon, and funny enough, I was not surprised when Rise of Skywalker came out and people were really upset about how Palpatine came back. I mean, why weren't you upset about it before? I mean, I really think Palpatine is cool. He's a really interesting villain in the Star Wars saga. Really good, especially in the prequels. But why would you bring it back? It's kind of lazy, you know. I guess I should have made Kylo the main villain, and as well as Hux. And then Kylo turns good, Hux becomes a whole lot worse, and he should have had a better ending. And while the movies were still coming out, I was still aware of the flaws, like how Rey was too overpowered, but I was pretty aware, but I tried to ignore them and tried to, like, enjoy them the best I could, because usually, even there are flaws in a movie, like when it comes to bad script or book to movie changes, like in Hobbit trilogy, for example, I tried to enjoy them the best I could, because I don't want to be, like, toxic or anything, you know, like most of people in the toxic Star Wars fandom. But I just can't enjoy Rise of Skywalker anymore now that this saga is over and the trilogy is over, and how things disappointingly did not turn out the way I expected. It's just not really great anymore. And as much as I did not like the sequel trilogy anymore, I honestly am completely fine with people who enjoy it. Like, just do what you want. I really don't like it when people go out their way to just constantly shit on the sequels just because they didn't like it, and try to harass others for liking it as well, and make like 2-ish, 3-ish hour YouTube videos on why they didn't like it, just angrily ranting on and on and on. I mean, come on, can't you find something better to do? I mean, nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans itself. I mean, I've always been more of a prequel fan, and even if the sequels were still coming out, I still always liked the prequels, even when people hated on them. I'm so glad they're being liked nowadays, and especially considering that people don't like the sequels, they're now starting to appreciate the prequels. Which is really weird, because all the hate sent towards the prequels is literally the reason why George Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney. And now that they created a trilogy, now you're mad? What? Star Wars fans are just toxic, and if believe it or not, toxic fans have been around for a really, really long time. We just don't know it. Like, apparently people hated The Empire Strikes Back when it first came out. And also when the first Superman movie came out in the 70s, the director Richard Donner actually received death threats. He confirmed that recently because of the hate that Wonder Woman 84 got. And looks like history has repeated himself, unfortunately. And also, don't forget that when Sherlock got killed off, the author actually received a lot of backlash. So because of this, the author decided to resurrect Sherlock from the dead. And not to mention that Sherlock was written like well over 100 years ago. I'm serious. So toxic fans have been around for a really, really long time. It just hasn't been much of a thing until now. Now that there's the internet and people can distribute whatever content they want. They can express their opinions a whole lot more clearly now on the internet. And even though I can no longer enjoy a sequel trilogy as much as I used to, there's still some good parts about it. Like, I loved Force Awakens. Even if it's a copy of A New Hope, I still really enjoyed it. Especially when it first came out. I saw it in theaters when it first came out. And Last Jedi, it was pretty okay, but Rise of Skywalker, nope. And now that Rise of Skywalker completely failed, it seems like a lot of people are better appreciating The Last Jedi, which I really like considering the amount of shit it got thrown at all those years ago. Which was super insane, oh my god. Like, the one thing I did enjoy about it was Finn. Finn was really my favorite character out of the whole trilogy. I mean, Rey was great, but I didn't really enjoy her as much as Finn. And even in Force Awakens, I knew that he was Force sensitive. I saw a lot of theories on that, and I was really hoping for him to become a Jedi, but I just got disappointed when he didn't in Rise of Skywalker. It's like he had a whole future ahead of him, especially Poe Dameron, since he didn't have a very big role in Force Awakens. I mean, he did have a slightly bigger role in Last Jedi, but really not as much. I was really hoping for Finn and Poe to have much bigger roles and actually fall in love. I really wanted them to fall in love, but, you know, Disney is homophobic and decided to go with the most toxic relationship ever in Star Wars, known as Reylo. OMFG Reylo. I just want to rant about it, even though I did in episode 10 with Dode Castella, but I'll just do it here more, because it's just fun ranting about it, you know? Okay, where do we begin? Okay, so fun fact, embarrassingly, I used to actually ship Reylo back in early 2016, you know, when Force Awakens was kinda new. I don't know why, I guess I just saw some cute fan art and fan edits and just agreed with all the other Reylo shippers. But now that it's over and it really didn't become a thing, it just lasted for like 3 seconds, I no longer ship it. And now it's just badly written. Not only is it very toxic, but it's badly written. It's like in Force Awakens, they had a few on-screen interactions, but most of them were just hating each other and lightsaber dueling, wanting to kill each other. And then in Last Jedi, they went from hating each other and then to getting along with each other. And then Kylo turned her into Snoke. No, I mean like sold her out, you know. And then killed Snoke to rescue her, and then they fought with each other against Snoke's guards. And then Kylo confesses his feelings for her, but automatically they start fighting each other. And at the end of the movie, they hate each other. In The Rise of Skywalker, they fought for most of the movie, like a lot of lightsaber duels. Rey stabs him, and then she immediately heals him. And then they meet again on the Sith planet, Exegol, oh yeah, yes it is. I forgot about it for a moment. And then when they meet each other again for the last time, they side with each other fight with each other, and then they kiss, and Ben dies. It's like back and forth like a roller coaster. Hating to loving to hating, back to loving, and then done. I mean, that is such a good example of bad relationship. I mean, you ever see this guy just going around mass murdering people and go like, oh yeah, I want to date him. I mean, yeah, that's totally how it works. Especially since he tried to kill me multiple times. Oh yeah, I would totally date him. And it's weird how people are comparing their relationship to Pride and Prejudice. I haven't actually read or watched it, but apparently Elizabeth and Darcy disliked each other but eventually fell in love. I'm really not entirely sure, but it could be based on the title Prejudice. But yeah, Raylo was just so bad and toxic. It's bad. It's bad. I guarantee you, the only reason why people ship it is because the bad boy and good girl trope, it completely fits with their fanfics and stuff, their AUs and everything, the medieval AUs, all that kind of stuff. And also because of how attractive the actors look, especially Adam Driver. If they weren't played by attractive actors or a person of color, then no one would be shipping them. I guarantee you. It's like the majority of fandoms seemed kind of silent on Finn and Poe, but were really active on Kylo and Rey. And so was J.J. Abrams. He was like, he was just seeing his office and went like, you know what, I'm just gonna make this toxic relationship a couple canon, instead of this LGBT couple where one is a Latino guy and the other is a black guy, and make them side characters. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's totally a good idea. And also, what's the point of making Raylo quote-unquote canon if Ben died literally a second later? What's the point of killing him off? He's literally the Skywalker of the saga. The story is about the Skywalkers, not Rey the imposter. I think it should have been called The Fall of Skywalker, but, they didn't want to spoil it, so they were probably just wanting to refer it to Rey, since she's the perfect Mary Sue of the movie. I actually used to kind of like her, but now she's really not. She was pretty annoying in Rise of Skywalker, in my opinion. Like, in that scene that we're in the desert and they're about to take off, she pretty much senses Kylo and just goes out there to get distracted by him, which created a super annoying subplot of where they need to go to that mining planet and get that Sith language, and finds out that Chewie's alive. They go on that ship, and I don't know, it just feels like it feels like time wasting. It consumed time, since J.J. Abrams really didn't have anything else to come up with. Neither did Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, to be honest, I actually do not care if you ship Raylo. I don't like the toxic ones. I just don't like Raylo in general. Like, their evidence, it just really doesn't really fit. People are gonna say, oh well, it's canon, so cry about it. Well, it's technically not, is it? Ben literally died like a second later, and she's never gonna end up with him ever again. He's dead. So therefore, it's not canon, okay? Also, I like to pretend that Finn and Poe hooked up after the movie. They got married, and yeah, that's the real ship right there. Honestly though, okay, so I'm looking back at the tweet where John Boyega was like, ooh, Star Wars romance, and then point out the totally legit evidence of Kylo and Rey fighting, which is super romantic. I mean, has your girlfriend ever stabbed you with a lightsaber? I mean, come on. That's so loving. That would be romantic. Am I right? And no one Stanny was like, you do know that you're now basically giving antis the go to hate on shippers, right? I'm not even Rayla, but you're doing is immature. As if there isn't enough hate in this fandom already. And then the right people replying was like, oh wow, that must suck. These shippers must be really oppressed. And honestly, those Raylos really deserves to be oppressed for shipping a ship just like that. Their evidence was like, yeah, but so they just kissed like one time, and yeah. And they're like, oh, they're a dyad in the Force, and blah blah blah. And how they interacted in The Last Jedi, even though they quickly became enemies, like, right after that. That's just, it's, like, the evidence these Reylos give is just the most vaguest evidence ever. And this other person of common sense replied, call me old-fashioned, but back in my day, our love interest in kidnappers trying to kill us multiple times, almost kill our friend, kill a bunch of innocent villagers, kill their father who's trying to help them, etc. I mean, why? It's so weird. Like, Rey really hated him for doing all these terrible things for the most of the saga, and then right in the end, they decided to team up all lovey and dreamy, even with all those bad things Kylo did. Like, I know Kylo got redeemed in the end, and that's what I really hoped for, but still, Reylo seems like a goddamn cesspool only for fanfiction. I mean, honestly, if you really want Reylo to be canon, at least write it properly, instead of having them go back and forth from lovers to fighters. It's just a mess, okay? I mean, I dare a Reylo shipper to actually fight me. Go ahead, do it. Go to my DMs, please. And fight me all you want. I'm ready. Also, as I said before, I've never really been interested in Rey anyway. I've always been more interested in Finn. I guess it's because, I mean, I already knew that she was overpowered. I just tried not to worry about it because, as I said, I tried to look at everything in a positive way. But yeah, she really, her powers and stuff really did not make sense mostly in Rise of Skywalker, considering the fact that she did the lightning hands with her, and before you say, because she had a lot of anger, and you should let the hate flow through you if you want to condemn to the dark side, and that she's a Palpatine. It's still not excusable. She's just still overpowered. She did not even, it's no, just no. And also the force healing thing, where did that come from? I'm sure that's actually a dark side thing, because when Palpatine was telling Anakin about Darth Plagueis, he was talking about how Plagueis could save people from dying. And J.J. Abrams' excuse for that is probably that Rey's a Palpatine. I mean, you can't really inherit a certain person's powers if you're a kid of a force-sensitive person. You have basic force-sensitive abilities, yes, like flying. You just have to learn the sort of stuff to be a Jedi or Sith. And plus, not to mention that Rise Skywalker is all about Rey, because they want her to be a Skywalker. And not to mention that Finn was always screaming Rey. It's like the only line that he had. It's like J.J. Abrams has showed John Boyega the script and say, here, all you have to do is say Rey. And then John Boyega fakely says, oh yeah, that's a totally great idea, like, I am totally not angry about this. I'm really glad that John Boyega really came out, when Rise of Skywalker came out, about his frustration, about how his character was treated. And I think it's very interesting how he and Ray Fisher had the same situation too, since Cyborg originally had a huge role in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but it was cut down tremendously. And I believe I have seen something on Twitter where John Boyega and Ray Fisher has actually interacted, which I think it's so cool, in my opinion. I mean, congratulations to them. Definitely. Also, I really don't hate Daisy Ridley. I'm sure it's not her fault. It's definitely not her fault that Rey was written like this. I'm sure she didn't like it either, especially the Kylo and Rey relationship. I think I heard somewhere that even Daisy Ridley was concerned about the relationship, but you know, she had to deal with it anyway, which really sucks, and especially considering it's Disney. Okay, well, anyway, I don't really know what else to say. I guess I covered everything that's on my list. I don't know what else to say anyway. I hope 2021 becomes a great year. I want everyone to wear masks, take the vaccine if you can, and get tested. And social distance, actually follow the guidelines so we can get out of this pandemic soon, because everyone in America is being so dumb right now. And as I said, I hope 2021 is better anyway. I'll see you guys later. Bye.